Ever since RLUSD hit the scene, stablecoins have become the center of attention, and not just because of RLUSD itself. What really sparked the buzz were the wave of announcements that followed its debut. Take this for example, ICE and Circle teaming up to explore the use of USDC stablecoin in derivatives markets. That's a huge deal, considering derivatives are a colossal $730 trillion market. Yes, trillion. Bitwise even emphasized just how massive that number is. Now, one of the major players is diving deeper into stablecoins. Are you watching closely? That staggering $730 trillion figure. It's the notional value of the over-the-counter derivatives market as of June 2024, according to the Bank for International Settlements. What's even more eye-opening is how aggressively Circle is moving into the stablecoin spotlight, especially now that Ripple is reportedly making moves to acquire them. If that acquisition goes through, Ripple wouldn't just gain a top-tier stablecoin operation, they'd also inherit Circle's powerful web of connections, including potential collaborations like the one with ICE. That could be a game changer, but the momentum doesn't stop there. Recently, Good Morning Crypto broke the news that Meta is currently in talks with multiple crypto firms to integrate stablecoins by 2025. And when you think about who they'd likely partner with, only a few names come to mind: Ripple, Circle, and maybe Tether, though Tether often raises red flags when it comes to regulatory clarity. For a company like Meta, which values compliance and reputation, Circle and Ripple are the frontrunners. Now, there's no confirmation that Meta is speaking directly with Ripple, but would it really be that surprising if they were? Not really. Especially when you consider Meta's history. Remember the whole Libra saga? That ambitious project fizzled out, largely due to its centralized nature in comparison to Bitcoin. Critics were quick to call it out, and in the end it never gained traction. This new push into stablecoins could be Meta's second shot, hopefully with a bit more foresight this time. And it's not just Meta. Practically every major player in finance and tech is eyeing stablecoins now. They've become more than a crypto curiosity. They've grown to represent 1% of the global M2 money supply. That might sound like a small slice, but in monetary terms, it's a massive shift. Stablecoins are no longer just the future. They're rapidly becoming part of the now. Here's something wild. Stablecoins are now giving Visa and MasterCard a real run for their money in terms of monthly transaction volume. That alone should make you pause. We're at a point where stablecoins are becoming way too significant to overlook, and it's no surprise that major corporations and financial heavyweights are suddenly all in on the conversation. The shift is real, and it's accelerating fast. Adding fuel to the fire, the CEO of MoonPay recently shared a powerful insight last year alone. Stablecoins processed over $6 trillion. That's just 3% of global cross-border payments, and yet it already signals a massive trend. Consider this: traditional remittance services often charge 6–9% in fees and take days to complete a transaction. Meanwhile, stablecoins settle instantly, cost very little, and all you need is an internet connection. That's a game changer. We're standing at a rare crossroads where smart legislation could open the door to real competition, give people more choices, and strengthen the US dollar on the global stage. This isn't about backing one stablecoin over another, it's about pushing forward before other countries beat us to it. Honestly, if I had to place a bet, I'd say we see stablecoin laws signed and sealed by July. I know August was the original target, and it's still in play, but with how quickly things are shifting, July feels more likely. But that's not all. Zero Hedge dropped another bombshell. For the first time ever, the Treasury Borrowing Advisory Committee is seriously looking at stablecoins as not just a payment tool, but a major source of demand for US Treasury bills. Here's the headline: stablecoin issuers already hold over $120 billion in T-bills. If their growth keeps up, that number could balloon by another $900 billion. With the total T-bill market currently around $6.4 trillion, this kind of demand shift could be massive. And yes, it could come at the expense of traditional bank deposits. We're talking about stablecoins potentially hitting $2 trillion in market cap by 2030, and if regulations and market support align, that may be a conservative estimate. What's clear is this: the world of finance is being reshaped, and stablecoins are right at the heart of it. That's why nailing the regulatory framework isn't just important, it's urgent. The clock is ticking. If the US wants the dollar to maintain its global influence in a digital-first world, it needs to stay ahead in the stablecoin game. Chainlink recently echoed a point from Zero Hedge, highlighting that once stablecoins started holding significant amounts of US treasuries, they officially became too big for regulators to ignore. Sergey Nazarov broke it down further. What we're seeing with stablecoins is just the beginning. As more types of assets get tokenized, they'll eventually reach a tipping point where regulators and industries have no choice but to pay attention. Here's how it happens. Stablecoins only hit the radar of governments and institutions when they began absorbing enough of the underlying asset, in this case US treasuries. Once these digital assets held around 0.5% to 1% of total treasuries, everyone suddenly started asking serious questions. What is this new format? Who controls it? And that same awakening is going to happen across every other asset class. When tokenized real estate, commodities or securities start soaking up just a few percent of their respective markets, the shift in attention will follow. It won't just be talk. We'll start seeing a flood of new laws, guidelines and regulations specific to each asset type as they grow. At this point, stablecoins have already reached that scale. Regulators can't afford to ignore them anymore, and that's why we're seeing a real push for clearer laws and stronger frameworks. The US wants to make sure these digital dollars are backed by American assets, primarily US dollars and treasuries, because every stablecoin issued and used worldwide spreads the influence of the dollar further. In essence, expanding the reach of stablecoins helps strengthen the US dollar's dominance and preserves its role as the world's reserve currency. From a strategic standpoint, that makes total sense. What started as a niche corner of the crypto space has now evolved into a powerful financial tool with global impact. Stablecoins have grown from obscure tech to a key player in the financial ecosystem, so much so that their success ties directly to the US's monetary influence. This is why we're likely to see the US government dive deeper into stablecoins, not just regulating them, but fully embracing them. Think of it like this: as US-backed stablecoins start to lead in various tokenized markets, the country won't just focus on digital dollars, it'll go full throttle on the broader tokenization movement, and we're already seeing early signs of that shift. The truth is, once any tokenized asset grows large enough to challenge the status quo, the same pattern will repeat. Regulatory clarity will follow scale. This is exactly what played out with stablecoins. Remember when Ripple said back in 2022 that the